Imagine a prince. Not a fairy tale prince, but a real one, born into a palace, a direct descendant of a dynasty that ruled for over 500 years. Now, imagine that same prince, decades later, in Beverly Hills. He's not attending a movie premiere. He's on his hands and knees, scrubbing algae from the side of a swimming pool. This isn't fiction. This was the life of Prince Yiseok of Korea. His family, the House of Yis, led one of the world's longest ruling dynasties. They shaped a culture, built magnificent palaces, and sat on the chrysanthemum throne. So how did it come to this? How does the grandson of an emperor end up doing manual labor in America, an ocean away from the kingdom his family lost? And in a truly 21st century twist, how does he end up in a Los Angeles restaurant, naming an American tech entrepreneur his successor? This is the story of a fallen crown, a family scattered by history, and a throne that refused to disappear, even when there was no kingdom left. For 518 years, from 1392 to 1910, the Joseon Dynasty ruled the Korean peninsula. They established Seoul as the capital and oversaw a cultural golden age. It was under one of their most celebrated rulers, King Sejong the Great, that the revolutionary Korean alphabet, Hangul, was created in the 15th century, a breakthrough that transformed Korean literacy. The dynasty built magnificent palaces, including Cheongdeokgung, which was first established in the early 1400s and still stands today as a testament to their power. But by the late 19th century, that power was fading. Caught between a declining China, a rising Japan, and the West's encroaching influence, Korea was a kingdom under immense pressure. The ruler, Emperor Gojong, tried to navigate these treacherous waters. In 1897, he declared the founding of a modern, independent Korean empire. A bold but ultimately doomed assertion of sovereignty. The assassination of his wife, the formidable Empress Myeong-song, by Japanese agents in 1895 was a dark omen of Japan's ambitions and the violence to come. The empire was on a collision course with history, and its fall would be swift and brutal. In 1910, Japan formally annexed Korea, ending 5 centuries of Joseon rule. But the Japanese didn't just depose the royal family. They began a cruel and methodical campaign to assimilate them, turning them into high-profile political hostages. The goal was to sever the link between the Korean people and their rulers, breaking their spirit of independence. The key figure in this tragedy was Crown Prince Yoon, Emperor Gojong's son. At just 10 years old, he was taken to Japan in 1907 under the pretext of getting a modern education. In reality, it was a move to control the royal heir. Raised in Tokyo, he was molded into a Japanese officer and even made a member of the Imperial Japanese Army. To complete the assimilation, he was placed in a political marriage with a Japanese noblewoman, Princess Masako Nashimoto. The message was clear. The Korean royal line would be absorbed until it no longer existed. His sister, Princess Deoki, was Gojong's last and most beloved daughter. She, too, was taken to Japan as a teenager for education. Isolated and under constant surveillance, her mental health crumbled. After an arranged marriage to a Japanese aristocrat, she suffered a complete breakdown. Diagnosed with an illness that modern experts believe was a form of schizophrenia, she spent decades locked away in a Japanese psychiatric hospital, a forgotten princess in a foreign land. And then there was Prince Yi Woo, a grandson of Emperor Gojong. Unlike some of his relatives, he resisted assimilation, even managing to marry a Korean noblewoman against Japan's wishes. But he couldn't escape his fate. As a lieutenant colonel in the Imperial Japanese Army, he was in Hiroshima on the morning of August 6, 1945. Prince Yi-woo was mortally wounded by the atomic blast and died later that day. The prince who defiantly held onto his Korean identity was killed by a weapon deployed in a war fought by his captors. When Japan surrendered in 1945, Korea was liberated. But for the shattered remnants of the royal family, there was no home to return to. The war had partitioned their country. The new South Korean government, led by President Syngman Rhee, was hostile to the old monarchy, viewing it as a potential rival for legitimacy. The family was disinherited. Their properties were nationalized, their titles became meaningless, and their status was erased. Stripped of their Japanese titles, they were now private citizens in a country that wasn't sure it wanted them. Crown Prince Yi-un and Princess Masako were effectively barred from returning for years. Princess Deoki only made it back to Korea in 1962, her mind ravaged by illness after 37 years away. Into this broken legacy, Yi Seok was born in 1941, a son of Prince Yi Kang and a grandson of Emperor Gojong. He grew up in the ruins of his family's glory. He remembered court ladies pleading with him not to run in the palace halls, but that dignity couldn't pay the bills. After a military coup in 1979, the last vestiges of state support were cut off, and Yi Seok's family was forced from their home in a royal complex. With no future in Korea, he emigrated to the United States. As the story is often told, he arrived as an undocumented immigrant and did whatever it took to survive. He mowed lawns, he worked as an armed guard, and yes, the grandson of an emperor cleaned swimming pools in Beverly Hills. This came after a brief stint of modest fame in Korea during the 60s and 70s as the singing prince. For decades, Prince Yi Seok's story was one of pure survival, but he never forgot who he was. He eventually returned to South Korea, where a renewed interest in the nation's royal past gave him a new role. He became a cultural ambassador and a lecturer at Jeonju University, a living link to the Joseon Dynasty. He was a symbol of a history that had been violently erased. And then the story takes a turn into the truly bizarre. In 2018, in a ceremony in a Beverly Hills restaurant, not far from where he once cleaned pools, Yi Seok held a ritual to name his symbolic successor. But he didn't name a long-lost cousin or a Korean noble. He named Andrew Lee, a Korean-American tech entrepreneur from Indiana. Lee is the founder of the VPN service Private Internet Access and an early Bitcoin investor. The symbolic line of succession for the 500-year Joseon Dynasty was passed in a restaurant to a man who made his fortune in cryptocurrency and internet privacy. Since that ceremony, Andrew Lee has taken the idea of a monarchy into the digital realm. He has established the Joseon Cyber Nation, which he describes as a non-territorial, blockchain-based kingdom. And in a move that blurs the line between history and science fiction, the island nation of Antigua and Barbuda issued a press release in 2023. Announcing it was establishing diplomatic relations with this digital state. The crown that once ruled a peninsula now symbolically rules a server. The legacy of emperors, princes, and palaces now exists as a crypto venture, a digital micronation with a press release to its name. From palaces in Seoul to swimming pools in Beverly Hills, from a psychiatric ward in Japan to a digital kingdom on the blockchain, the story of the House of Yi is a staggering epic of survival. It's a testament to how history doesn't just end, it transforms, adapts, and sometimes becomes stranger than you could ever imagine. Their kingdom is gone, but in the most unexpected of ways, the throne endures. What other fallen dynasties have stories that need to be told? Let us know in the comments below and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss what's next.